Hi everybody, welcome to the Unreal Engine training live stream. If I could get the words out.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult for me. I had mouse surgery earlier, you don't care. So, right to the AI.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll jump right in. So today, I went through the project and I added a bunch more comments. I refactored based off of the data table, which we made some changes to the way the data table works. I added a game state, so we have a place to store the names from the data table for easy access across everybody else. Mainly because we're going to still read in stuff from the data table, but it's an expanding table of stats so that we can just arbitrarily add whatever stat we want. So at the end, there's happiness, and we could add, I don't know, desire for cookies at the very end. And then each AI character would still on load inherit from those and be able to pull them up and be like, oh, okay, well, I now have a new stat for this. And then, I mean, the behavior tree can simply handle based off of stat number. It still works the same way. There were a lot of places we were using those numbers. So all of those places got updated. Everything works. When I hit play, like 5 minutes ago, and everything in here.
You start making statements like that.
Yeah, I know, right? Jinxed! So let's go ahead, we'll hit play. The dude's gonna run around. We can see that he's got perception running still. That's great. He's running his behavior trees. He's seeing things. And he's running up. And he destroyed an apple. And he reset his hunger, or at least gave him some more hunger. Well, this increased... How do you say that? He added a value to his hunger stat, which decreases his hunger stat.
No, it satiates.
Satiation. There we go. Thank you. That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. So what we need to do now is we need to discuss how we're going to kind of wire his behavior tree, his animation, or his behavior tree, his AI controller, the character, and the animation blueprint, because what we're going to do is we're going to have him now animate when he does something. The problem is like there's no feedback. He runs around and he does stuff, but yeah, we added the sound stuff, which we could use for call-outs and things like that, like, oh yeah, oh my god, nom 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 nom. Or we can also, do something like add an animation, which will add to, well, I won't say realism in this case because I just kind of grabbed some free stuff off of the marketplace so that we can quickly get this prototyped in. And so it'll be a little. I think he's going to attack the apples. Is what he's going to end up doing. And so how we're going to do this is, there's like a million different ways we could do this. But the way that I find easiest for me to remember what's going on is either to do a task which calls to the animation controller, which calls to the character, which calls to your animation blueprint, which seems like a really long-winded way to do it, I understand. But it keeps kind of things organized so that we could take the behavior tree, and if we make those all interface calls, we could take the behavior tree and we could transplant it into another AI controller. And if the AI controller implements that function, it can either do something the same, or it can do it different, or it can modify it en route. And then the same thing can be said for the animation controller being transplanted into another character, and the character having a new animation blueprint. If we were to do, once we get everything down, like we're like, okay, these are our classes, these are our dudes, here's what we're doing, we could start then just casting. And we could do it from top level down to all the way down to animation blueprint. We could just grab it, store it, and be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, make a nice little compact function out of all that cast and call.
All of that casting calls.
And just make it do this A to B.
Exactly. Yeah. But since we're still kind of in this weird prototyping stage and whatnot, keeping things flexible can be kind of nice. As for costs, if we were doing straight casts down the line and casting this each time, it would be the same. It'd be the same performance cost as what we're about to do with interfaces.
Yeah.
The only savings that we'll end up doing with casts is when we start storing it. Since we're not going to store it, well, then really we don't have a performance concern right now. We're running one guy, and maybe actually this time I'm probably going to throw in like 3 or 4 guys just so we can duplicate them around and have more than one thing running around. Also, be nice to see if the widget works across all of them.
Oh, if they start conflicting with each other.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and create this task that I'm going to need for this animation. Let's see, AI stream, AI tasks, I believe debug print was nice and simple. Yeah, there's nothing actually in debug print. So we're just going to duplicate that and go from there. Duplicate. And we're going to call it task fire animation. Okay. And we have our event receive execute and our event finish execute in this, which is great. That's all we really need. We will have our owner controller and we will have our owner pawn. So I guess we could actually skip straight down and do an interface. Yeah, you know what? We'll skip the IA controller for right now. No, we're not. We're not. We're going to do this the way I thought because that's the way I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we need to fire an animation. So we need our animation controller and we need an interface to that. So we could either A, use one of the interfaces we already have, but unfortunately the interfaces that we have, or the one interface we have is usable, which I don't think really works. So we're going to create a new interface, blueprint interface, and we're going to call it AI animation interface. I can't, that's really hard to read. I think I spelled all that correctly.
You did.
Awesome. And we're going to need a new one. This one is going to be called task to controller. And we're going to do another one. And we're going to do controller to character. And another one of wait, do we need another one? Task to controller, controller to character, character can then hard cast because, well, no, because we could swap out his animation blueprint. So we'll do character to AnimBP. So just really quick,
Creating
and
that
easy.
chain of functions.
So basically, yeah. So it's this is going to be really quick. It's going to be like, oh, we're in the animation controller, just pass, pass, pass. And now we need the thing to pass. So I'm going to jump real quickly. We're not changing sections, Shelly. We're going to go actually grab an animation and create a montage. Mm-hmm. That way we have an asset to pass. No, we don't need that. I'm being silly. We just need... Well, we need to pass something. What do we need to pass? Oh, man, I just forgot.
You got notes over there.
I do, but that's actually the one thing that I didn't actually think about is that something... Because normally, I mean, so easy way to do it is you just remember what your final animation blueprint montage call is. Mm-hmm. And it's a custom event. And you're just like, bloop, do that one. Yeah. And it's like, oh, But now we're going to have an interface call that goes down, but we want to have it modular so the task can call down. So we could just do one on switch, I guess. Montage on switch. The event will call and then.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that.
I see where you're going with that.
We'll actually go ahead and we'll just pass an integer down the line. This is kind of. Okay, so we need an input on this, I believe.
I mean, it needs an. Oh.
No, I think we need an input.
Okay.
Because it'll show up on there, right? And we just call it.
Well, it shows up when you call it. Yeah.
And we'll just do montage, something like that.
Okay.
And then we do that to each one. So if we go to task controller, we now have a montage index. And just do the same. Montage index. Montage index. At least it keeps the end thing going. Montage index. Okay, compile that, save it. Come over here. And this gives us the opportunity to make sure that the task is a little more universal. We don't need print string. We don't need new variable. We are going to need our montage index.
Oh, just to make the initial one that you're passing,
Yep.
right? I'm like, wait, you made so many already.
You've made
right.
all of these indices.
The one you're actually passing, right,
Yes.
right.
And this will be exposed on the task itself.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of, well, our controller and our pawn and our animation blueprint all have to implement this interface. So let's just go to AI AISCon, and class settings, add AI animation interface, compile, save, and then we need our character, which I think, oh, there he is. Class settings, add animation interface, compile, save, and then I believe we get to his animation blueprint. Right, like that. We'll just go ahead and add into this. Class settings, add animation interface, compile, save. Okay. And that can go away now. We no longer need it. And now owner controller. We can just do a message of, what was it, task to controller message, boom, boom, done, move on with life. Right? This, we could, I don't know, you guys want that bool? Lots of times I just add a bool here for, call it a force, it's not success, I mean, but it is.
Force execute.
Well, it's this little guy right here at the end, right?
Oh, okay.
So I have a tendency to just do this and expose it so that for whatever reason, if I put it somewhere weird, I can choose whether or not it succeeds or it fails.
Mm-hmm.
Compile it, and then we have it defaulted true. And then montage index, we plug in our montage index. There we go. So that's like our task, and now we need to add it to the behavior tree. So I'm gonna go up to the behavior tree, and yeah, and guys, if you notice, we're trying something new down here, and I'm not communicating very well with Shelly.
Sorry.
No, this is all my fault. I'm just bouncing all over the place.
You can move on to the.
She's in the right place. She's in the right place. But we're trying something new for people who are jumping in and out to know kind of where we're at in the stream. Yeah. And I'm not communicating very well with Shelly about where I'm at, and
No,
so this
you're
is
not.
yeah, that's right. I'm not. This is a grand experiment that we're.
Should make it easier for time stamping these later, so you guys can just look up the exact segment of what we were doing, and I feel like it might be worth going back through the old videos and just time stamping like this was this section.
Exactly. Agreed.
Because there are definitely sections that are more important than others for you guys.
Yep. And so now we have our task. We need to kind of put it in here. So the real question is do we run it after or before? I'm going to do it after. I think that makes sense. I mean, the item's going to disappear when he, like, as soon as he starts to swing. Well, no, we could delay that off of the destroy function, but I mean, there is something to be said for actually combining use item and actually having it have its own AnimMontage to fire down. At the same time, you may just want an animation to fire from the behavior tree. So, yes, I know there's a play animation, but we want to create our own tasks, and make them a little more universal for the montage. So, yep, that works. True. Continue on, and then we'll jump down into our controller, which is my way of trying to communicate that we're going to go implement that message in the AI controller for Shelly to move the thing along. And
I'm typing.
let's go. Task to controller. Nope. Task to event. There we go. And then we do controller to character. Call that function. Pass it. Compile, save. So my mentality is, so the behavior tree is like your upper thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
Your controller is your brain, the character is your body, and then however you want to think about, or the nervous system, and then the animation blueprint.
Your
the actual
contractions
body
of
doing
the muscle.
stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why lots of times these things, like, I'm weird that way, I suppose.
No, that's how I think of my AI too.
Yeah, and don't forget
that weird.
to have me run back through all of this here during Q&A, because we made some substantial changes in here.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
To show all the different changes you made. And also you need to show off your sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Because you made a couple changes to the sheet, and we're going to show
Just
you guys.
a few.
I know there's some questions in the chat. We are going to show you guys all the stuff that he did. It's not really that insane. It's a lot of commenting and a couple of cleanup things.
It's a lot of... Structs can be
structs were a little ugly, so we cleaned them.
Controller to character. And then from here, we do character to AnimBP. Yes, I know I need to go back, and we need targets. I'm just getting these all wired in. So now we go back up to controller. Controller, we get control. Where's controlled? Get controlled pawn. There we go. What? What do you mean? Wait a minute.
What'd you do?
Is this the wrong event? Oh, it's not a message. Controller to character. We need the interface call. There we go. Wait, no, not the interface. Where's the message? Controller to. Where's my message? Right?
What?
Where's my message? You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Task to controller. You see how it says message down there? AI animation.
Yeah, I
interface.
didn't see if that one has the interface on it or not.
Compile, compile, compile. This is.
That's not how you spell control.
I know. My fingers or something. Controller to. Yeah, no, I don't have a message.
Does it need to implement the interface?
It does implement the interface.
Oh, it does.
And the answer is no. It shouldn't have to implement the interface.
Yeah, that's. What?
Because that's the whole point of the interface. Unless then.
Wait, uncheck context sensitivity.
Okay.
See if. Because you know how often stuff like that happens.
And it happens. Controller to. Yeah, there's the message. Weird.
See? You got to take my advice and just.
I did take it. What are you talking?
There you go.
I totally took your advice.
I know. I'm just
now watch
saying
it crash.
you did a great job
okay.
taking my advice. You have to turn off context sensitivity sometimes because it's.
Because reasons?
Sometimes it's really the best thing ever, and in other days it just drives me crazy.
Yeah, well, there is that. Well, that means this one's wrong too. So, character to BP. Yep. Context off. Give me that message. And this one will be able to ask our mesh. Hey mesh. Anim BP. That's not anim. It's anim instance, right? Yeah, get anim instance. We'll get your animation blueprint. And that should fire up the line. Okay. Compile and say, uh-oh.
You need your mesh to be the target because your whole blueprint is not the thing that has the anim.
Well, I thought I had it, yeah. Well, no, I turned off context sensitivity, so of course that wouldn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so save all that. Okay, that's got that. That's got that. That's got that. Yeah, okay, so we got the target down the line. Everything's passing down the line. And we finally get down here into our animation blueprint, which is like 2 ahead. Sorry, Shelly.
What?
Sorry.
Put them in perfect order, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's because we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? It's like...
This was not my idea, Ian, by the way.
I know. This time, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, we need our event graph. This is where we're going to fire some, no. Yeah, okay, this is our event, pardon. This is our event graph. This is where we're going to be firing our final message. So we have character to AnimBP. and we'll have an index. What we'll do is we'll do a switch
Oh.
on int. Boom.
Hey Shelly, is there any way that you can cut the image so that we can see higher up in the blueprint, in the whole like window view? If it cuts off the bottom a little bit.
What blueprint?
Like we can't see the top tabs, so they don't know what blueprint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see on there?
Oh.
So they're like, what blueprint is this? And that's... Sorry about that.
I'll go ahead and I'll just move it down for the time being. I got the thing there.
So you go. Sorry. Just wanted,
Oh, damn it. Thanks, Windows.
They mentioned it.
Well, hang on a second. I can fix it.
Okay.
It's I can't have all these things and you see everything, so we got to figure out what.
Cutting off the bottom is better than cutting off the top.
Yeah.
If that helps. I don't know.
Okay. Hang on a second.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and.
This is normally when you put up the technical.
No, it's fine. We'll just.
It's a very minor adjustment.
just
But
keep
thank you guys.
rolling.
I would like to say to chat, thank you for pointing out things and letting us know whenever something seems off or you're not able to get information. Please.
But now you're not going to be able to see everything at the bottom. So.
That's fine.
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Like, what's down here? Who cares?
Well, we'll just go down even farther if they need to see that.
Yeah. Now there's nothing down there. I don't think. I mean, not even variables are hidden.
It's okay. Let's get back to it. If
Yep, it's all good.
All in view.
So, our final event passed down the line so that our infinitely expandable, who knows what's going to be placed in between what and who knows what we're going to extend kind of tree of thought process now just kind of exists. So we can go ahead and actually get a montage here. So we now need an animation. So because we can fire a montage. It's really, really easy. Just like montage, play, done. Right here you go. Like, and this is all there is to it. Unfortunately we have no montages. So we need a montage. So I went ahead and I pulled the Mixamo animation pack. It's a free one that's up there. I didn't want to use anything that's paid, so that anybody could go in and grab them. And these should be all compatible with our skeleton.
Yeah.
It's just we need to transfer one of them too. So I have the entire thing. They're all the same animations. And there is a slash. It is the closest thing that we have to a use. Like we're going to use these apples so hard they're going to explode.
Wow, he's just smacking that apple.
I'm not sure how to respond to what you just said, Alexander, so I'm not going to. So yeah, he's gonna go ahead and swing whenever he attacks an apple. But before we get there, we slow zoom in. We have to get this one onto our skeleton, and then two, we need to make it a montage. So let's go ahead and work on getting this to our skeleton. Which, if you haven't done this before, it's actually really crazy simple. It's really nice. We can actually just right-click on an animation, and we can retarget animation, and we can duplicate assets and retarget. And now this will give us a whole list of things that, of nothing, basically, because it's not going to define anything. And we can turn off show compatible skeletons, show only compatible skeletons, because for whatever reason, it just does that. I'm not sure why. This one's one of the weirder ones for as far as like what the interface is showing you, is because all of these skeletons are actually compatible. So reasons, I guess. So we have a UE4 mannequin skeleton, which I think is the right one. Yeah, because looks like oh I clicked something. Okay, I'm gonna stop clicking things. Oh geez, what did I do? Okay, well apparently I decided that it was done. And we're not done, so retarget, duplicate, and retarget. Show. Should be the UE4 mannequin skeleton down here, because I don't think there is a specific one.
No,
for
you might have to do some adjustments for the angle of like the arms and stuff.
Maybe, we'll see.
I can't
Select. Mixamo's copy to game mannequin character mesh UE4 UE and retargeted. So we should actually now see that in our animation blueprint. So third person animation BP, this guy, And we should have Mixamo. Please. Oh, something terrible has happened.
No, it's perfect. What are you talking about? Everything is fine here.
Nothing wrong. Nothing to see here, everybody.
Everything is fine. How are you?
Nothing to see here. Okay, so let's go back and see if we have a. I mean, these were supposed to all be compatible.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. Now.
It is.
No, alert! Zombie! Yeah, no kidding, right? Alright. So let's try. Unless I'm wrong. No, this is the right thing. Hold on. Maybe I am crazy. No, this is the right thing. This is what I've used before. Okay. So wait a minute. No, I want this one. And where is the convert spaces to new skeleton? Where is the where's the bone retargeter? You know what? Wait, do I have to do that on the skeleton?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so this will be fun. You ever get a feeling you're about to blow something up? Yeah, that's not working. These are not working. These were supposed to work with the skeleton.
This feels like one of those things that it worked when we tried it, and then.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I used a chunk of these for Bullet Train. I was doing this all the time to kind of, the various animation packs that we have online and getting them to work across the board. But I guess the Mixamo stuff hasn't been updated because this should literally just work across the board.
Oh no, it hasn't been updated. No, because now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, there were like reasons that they ended up discontinuing the pack or something like that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it was one of those like a company decision thing, not like a technical thing.
Okay, fine. That's no big deal. It just means we need to find something else. Hey, Alexander, bust out your credit card.
Oh yeah, let's go right onto Gumroad or whatever it is.
Yeah, let's just go buy something.
You know what? They just go right.
Yeah,
on the
actually, you can
marketplace.
look at this. You can look at this.
The marketplace is full.
Look at all this, right? Like none of these are named the same.
Yeah,
Absolutely
you can
nothing
tell.
here. So yeah, this is not going to work. My apologies, guys, for not looking this up beforehand. I made an assumption. My bad. And here's.
It didn't even dawn on me until you said something.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. See, not spine 1. We have spine 01. So all right, whatever. Let's go.
Literally broke his spine.
Literally broke his spine.
Wow.
Okay. Oh Lord, have I complete?
Oh no. Oh, that one's okay. We can use. I think we should use that.
Okay. Okay. Shelley really likes. Hold on. Let me bring it back. There we go. Shelley's really liking this. She's giggling over there. Okay.
He is dancing.
Okay. So I guess when we retargeted it, we got all of the head rolling animations here. Although I guess we might. No, because that's. Never mind. Okay. Let's go find something on the marketplace. Actually, is it okay for me to open the marketplace?
What?
It should be okay for me to open the marketplace, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. Over on the left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should log in as myself.
Oh, you're actually gonna pull. Oh, why don't you just use the weird little hoppy animation? You can replace it with something else later.
Well,
You're gonna have to download it, and then you're gonna have to add it to pack.
which is actually what's you end up adding it to pack, and then it just downloads it. So I mean, and I don't think there's actually anything free up there that I can snag. Okay, so apparently I'm not going to the.
No, don't do that.
We're not going to
Just use
the
little
launcher.
hoppy hop.
Okay, all right, fine.
I will get you a whole slew of cool animations.
This
for
is,
you know.
as sad as this makes me,
Yeah, but it makes me.
and as happy as Shelley, this makes Shelley. This is now going to be our use animation. Sorry, guys. All right, let's do this. Animation, what is this? This is third person jump. Third person jump. Okay, there's our third person jump. We're going to right click that. We're going to create an AnimMontage. And sure, we'll just allow it to be named the same thing. I'm going to hit Control S and save everything. So now we're going to have a montage that hops. Actually, can I edit this to be longer? That's actually something I haven't tried. So if you guys didn't know, we can actually edit this animation in here.
Going off script.
This is not technically off. Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta be like that? It's always like. So let's see. Can I do it from? Yeah, it has to be from here. Give me
Play rate? It's play rate.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's over
You're right. We can do.
I feel like you were about to go in and try to make a custom slowdown animation, and I don't have time for that.
You're like, I ain't got time for that.
To be clear to everyone, there is a Fortnite stream going on later, so we won't be able to go on forever and ever.
And this is the wrong. Go away. Where is our? There we go. All right. There's our montage though. Okay. Shelly over here is just giggling. All right. That's awesome. Okay, so there's a montage. We'll do a play rate of. We'll slow it down. Let's see. We'll extend it by 4 times, so we'll do a play rate of 0.25. And I believe this will magically work.
I don't like these.
Let's find out. Let's see what happens. Run around, her hunger's dropping. Running around.
He's going for that apple.
No, he's not. Oh,
No?
wait, no, he did, but did he do anything?
Or are we delaying it so that he actually plays through the whole animation? There needs to be a delay so that he plays through his whole montage before
He's
moving
not
on to
firing
his
at all.
next
He's
thing.
not firing at all.
Yeah, it's because he's moving immediately.
I'm not sure. Well, he should still. The montage should still. Hold on. Wait.
Because I've had it happen where an animation overrides another one because I didn't delay.
Yep. And what I'm going to do real quick.
Put it on the right
on the off screen, I'm just toggling a breakpoint.
Oh, on the switch.
On the int-on switch. And we'll see if it's actually firing down the line. Step 1, make sure the message is getting there. Then step 2, debug the fact that our animation may not be working. So if he pauses, nope, animation, the message is not being received. So go up to the top of the line.
Montage.
Move to, okay, I saw it hit. Pause, back.
I love that. You can just go back and forth.
Wait a minute.
Like it's jumping. It moved that. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Forward into, forward into. Okay, so this successfully returned, but we're making it return.
Oh, you're forcing success one way or the other.
Yep. So our task, toggle breakpoint.
Debugging.
Toggle breakpoint. Did you just do the magic hand thing again?
I did. That's how you know it's an exciting moment. That was more of my aliens guy. So we're still aliens. Debugging.
All right, we got our first hit. Okay, so owner controller, we're targeting whoever's controller, which should be the AI controller. So when I hit resume, this should fire down to the next level. Resume. All right, cool. We got down to the next level. Sweet. Resume. Resume again. Okay, now we're down to our next level. And I'm gonna step. Nope. Okay, so we're not, it's the final message we're not, setting to the right location. So let's stop real quick. It might be that our anim instance actually needs to be cast to an animation blueprint. Now, see, now this makes it specific, which defeats the point of using interface messages, which is silly. Character to AnimBP. Okay, let's go to our AnimBP. This is character to AnimBP. Okay, we can go back up. Mesh is in fact the third person AnimBP. Compile, Control S, which is in fact this one. This should be, we should be hitting this. This should be firing. And let's just remove that just in case. Default back out. Oh, this is weird. Class settings. I'm sure somebody somewhere is like,
I mean,
screaming about like how interfaces may not work on animation blueprints.
no, I'm looking at it. They're saying that mostly about montages may restart, which is the thing I was telling you why you need a delay. But
Right.
we're not even getting that far, so we know
No.
that that's not the issue. But that return value with the delay is what I normally put out.
Yep.
I mean, my not good programmer debugging instincts say print string with montage index right there, but
But we're not even hitting there.
oh, it's not even firing out of that.
No, we're
end.
not even getting down to this level.
So then it's the next level up. Something isn't telling it the
Right,
proper.
so if we go-
this is not telling it the proper thing to communicate to.
Right. So let's do a print off of here. Let's see if we can get the name off of.
See where it's
that.
trying to send that.
I did get the right mesh, right? Like, yeah, we did get the right mesh. Compile. And we're going to hit all these breakpoints again. Just going to move it off screen. Oh, I'm just going to chill out by the tree now. Okay. Alright, so we're hitting it off screen. Resume. Oop, not class defaults. Resume. Okay, and then we'll do another resume. Okay, another resume. Oh, this time we hit it.
What?
I don't know why. And our integer value is going to be 0.
Yeah.
Our montage planner itself will be this thing.
Maybe it's because we hooked up the default to something.
But it does look like you are right. He is immediately firing and
Oh. Yeah, it's just that you need to drag off that return value and be like delay and then connect it and then you'll be done.
Will that be done? Because we're setting this by messaging.
I don't know, but that's normally what finishes it for me.
Because isn't there a way to make... Because montages are just supposed to fire. They're supposed to ignore everything else.
Well, yeah, but
That's the point of the
you're
montage.
layering another. You're telling it to then ignore that and go back to movement immediately. Like the AI is then being told, it's
Okay.
like montage, but move.
Okay, let's do it.
It's like so fast, he doesn't even have a chance to do the thing.
Let's, then we'll run a delay.
There you go.
And we'll make it 1 full second.
I mean, you can just click the return value, and then you get the exact length of the montage, and then you don't have like a weird extra.
Oh, no. I want it to be perceivable.
Okay.
Yeah, not perceivable.
No, he didn't even. No, he didn't even stop. There is something going on there.
Where's my debug dude? Debug. We're hitting it.
Yeah, so it's not even that. Something's overriding the montage.
Wait a minute. What have we forgotten? There's always something. We always forget something. Shelly. She's sitting over there chuckling. Montage, you're supposed to lock me down. Why aren't you locking me down? I guess this is why I did the callbacks in Bullet Train. Because that would... Oh, cool. Yeah, we can do a rate scale. There we go. That's better. Or worse. However you want to put it. No. That puts it at... Well, that puts it at 2 seconds. Let's do...
Or maybe you do have to specifically cast it, and there's not like a...
No, I think actually...
There needs to be a way to do that.
I'm pretty sure what I need to do is I need to hold here. So this is where it gets annoying. And I can make infinitely better, but it requires a really complicated callback. Basically, what you end up doing is you take the task and you pass it along down the chain, and then you have it send an interface message back to the task saying, I've completed playing the montage.
Okay.
Which it's really, really kind of sloppy because you end up with, you know, events in the wrong place kind of deal. But we'll just make him chill for...
Yeah, I see why that's
2
kind of an odd thing, because you were dipping out and then back in to the same blueprint to...
I think if we could make it a function chain instead of an event chain, then yeah, it'd work. He's gonna stomp on that apple. We're not leaving until you stomp on an apple, dude.
That's how I eat my apples.
I hate you so much.
Why he gotta be like...
Why you no stomp on apple? Why you gotta be that way? Why? There's something we've not... Oh, duh! Duh!
What?
Always forget this part. This is why!
You didn't blend it in?
We didn't blend in a
Oh my
montage.
I'm gonna go through chat, and I bet somebody would have mentioned something.
Yeah, somebody in there.
Oh, somebody did.
Movement overriding, movement anims, montage overriding, movement anims, that's correct. Delay to be longer.
It's this.
Turn it off and on again.
Hold on, guys. We're going to be right back. We need to turn it on and off again.
Did you hook it up to the slot node in the anim graph? There you go. There was, yeah. There you go. It was hit pause. He is a good animation dude.
Thank you, sir. Sorry we didn't see that sooner.
Yeah, sorry. Group. I got a little caught up trying to figure out what the heck was going on. It's like, oh, there's chat.
And what's funny, he also didn't stop for 2 seconds. What a jerk. Did I not compile the task? Doesn't matter. He just decided to start running again. What a jerk. What are you doing? Yay! Whoa!
This is exactly what we wanted. Yes, that delay is a little too much now.
No, well, no, he's
because you have the quarter
we
speed.
We have a quarter on top of a quarter. Okay, that was terrifying.
Let me just drift at you.
Matrix you. We'll take that to 1.
No, we're leaving that.
No. And then, so there's a couple things we can do. It'd be a little weird.
Gosh.
But let's make him not move. The problem is that he wants to move, and we can make him not do that. First thing we need to do is we need to root motion him, which you'll see that we actually don't have anything for that here. That's okay. It's in the jump. We should be able to enable root motion. Oh, Lord.
No, I think you...
Okay. Animation first frame.
Trying to make me lose it over here.
Yeah, I'm making things worse, everybody. Just want you to know. Okay.
Like I'm like, Ian, my mouth hurts today.
Yeah, your mouth hurts today, and I'm like,
you're making me
really?
laugh so much.
Really? You're gonna let me know this? You're the one who got me to sign up on Twitter. This is your fault. 25. I'm just lowering his hunger a little bit, so that we'll hopefully be able to see this a little quicker. Yep.
I'm a little disappointed he didn't fall on his back.
You know what? Okay, fine. You want him to fall on his back?
Yes.
You people.
Yes,
you people. Third person jump.
That's how I eat.
That's how you eat your apples?
Yeah, just get on my back and start just having I guess a seizure is what it looks like, and then you.
This is going to be really weird looking.
Yeah, and then that's how I consume things.
After this, we'll go into Q&A.
Yeah.
Spend a little too long on this.
But we got
Oh, that apple was so good it knocked me flat on my ass.
Slam. Look at that.
Come on. You know you want another one. Kind of forgot where the trees were. Or
Those apples hurt. I want to go away and hide.
Oh, geez. That stamina is dropping quickly.
He got too far away, now he's killing himself.
Oh, that apple. Oh, it's so good. Oh, God. Well, okay, at least we know he's doing something, right? Like, I don't know, we should make them all turkeys. So it's like, just like Thanksgiving pass out. It's like, the turkey was so good. All right, so this is terrifying, but okay.
Is he still doing the audio? Is he actually saying, like, I found the apple right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes, but
Oh, we have the audio turned
probably
on.
the audio's turned off on this end, right?
Oh, man.
No, I can hear it, but I couldn't hear him doing it in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, well. That'd just be kind of ridiculous.
It's just too much.
Ian, more like bananas. All right, fair enough. Okay. So, animation. So, we went through it so that you could see, how you could use interface messages to pass stuff down the line. Animation is a really good target for this, but absolutely, there is a play animation node, and there's a play sound node for behavior trees. So this is us, again, once just showing that it's really easy to kind of get the functionality that you want, but also we have a lot of built-in functionality that will do a lot of things that we're looking at. So, yeah, that was fun. That was real fun. So let's go to Q&A.
And
see if
no, I'm sure that some of you were wondering why we didn't just in the task itself just be like direct play montage out of the like cast to anim whatever. But this is so it's generic.
Yeah.
And literal, and it could be like we can insert anything into this now.
So
as opposed to it being casting to a specific character and then using a specific anim montage. This just says use an anim montage based on the number I'm giving you.
Right, and we could pass it straight down to the animation blueprint because you can you got your pawn. Your pawn can grab your animation instance. Oh, but wait. Pawns don't actually have to have a skeletal mesh on them. So then what would you do? Well, your message could handle that, right? So the message just sends down the line. And then the animation controller, or pardon, the AI controller, we can swap in with another one at any time. And as long as we implement that message,
it's just
we can
triggering
custom
that generic,
handle that stuff down the line. When we get further along in the project, we would be like, okay, nothing's changing. Where can we optimize the path? Interfaces are casting too much. Let's go back. Let's remove all these interface casts and do some direct communications on the line. And more than likely what happens even beyond that is you hand it to a program and the programmer is like, why did you do this? I'll make it all better. And he scowls at you the entire time. So
this has happened.
This has happened a lot. So let's quickly, Shelly, if you could take me back to the main screen. There was a question about, what did we do? Ian, you did stuff that was offline. You're like, absolutely. So first thing I did is we have our stat struct. I removed the name from the actual stat struct. Wasn't really necessary, and you'll see why here in a sec, because we go back to the stat table, and I have health, stamina, hunger, strength, intelligence, speed, and happiness all listed as the name of the stat on the table. Okay, cool. What does this really get us? Well, if we go to our, let's go into our AIS character. If we scroll up here to the top, we'll see at the beginning of play, I'm actually grabbing the stat names from, I'll show you where I'm getting them in a second. It's from the game instance. The game instance is great. It's persistent across, or pardon, the game state, not the game instance, game state. The instance is something else. The game state is persistent across the game no matter what levels we switch and move into and out of. So I was like, and it's also like loaded long before even your game mode. So it's just like, oh, okay, well, this would be a good place to do some initialization of some data that we're going to need. So I grabbed the stat names from the table. And then we're able to iterate through this array into the data table and we're going to pull out the stat struct from there, which is our current value, min, max, desirability, decay rate, and stat behavior, if there's anything else that goes along with it. And then our placed guy will be able to say, hey, I have some values I would like to interject there. And if they are less than or equal to 0, it uses the default. If they are greater than that, it uses whatever the character has. So what this means is at any time, I could add a stat, and this guy, if we never went out here, we never went to our current stat stack right here, right here on his details, if we were never to expand that out to stat, 8 down there, or 7, he would get the default value for it. But if we were to expand it out, he would then interject his own value into this brand new stat. New guys that we place, we would probably automatically expand this stat out. We could create a blutility function real quick that just goes ahead and expands the array out so that the guy has all the data that he needs. There's a lot of ways to make it really easy on us iterating as we go. So unfortunately, the one thing I don't currently like about structs, and I'll be quite honest, I haven't asked anybody the guys who created this node layout, if there is an easier way to do it than what I have done right here.
Oh, just to get one value and alter
Get one value, because you can't leave these disconnected.
Oh,
if you leave them disconnected, they get default values from the struct. So it's like, so you end up with a lot of connections. And you'll know exactly where I'm using structs, because it's just, there it is, and there it is.
Doing a one-off. And
they're all over the place. Because every time I want to use a struct, I have to use the break or make for it. So at least you can tell what's going on, and really, honestly, what you would start doing is you collapse this stuff down into functions or macros, so it just kind of disappears. And then if we go to, I believe it's just in game. Yep, there's our AI game state. And yeah, this is super crazy simple. It has a variable, stat names, and then we have the node, get data table names, get data table row names. And since I named them the same as the stats, well, we now know our stats. It's now what's being displayed over the guy's head. In fact, just to kind of prove the weirdness here or awesomeness, let's add a value. So, in fact, I'm just going to add a new row because it'll look ridiculous. If we hit play, I haven't expanded the widget out, but
the widget's not quite long enough.
Not quite long enough. Give me eject. Hey! Oh, it's stuck on the screen.
Wham.
Yeah, okay, hold on. One second. Play. Let's get him into a better position. You can see new row here is cut off. So we could arbitrarily expand this limit. I need to go into the widget because it's screen space, and I need to calculate based off of how many are actually in there. And that would be that. So let's go ahead and axe new row here and save that out. Everything else that I've done was just general fixes to take into account hunger. We are no longer using stat 1, we are using stat 2 for what we are looking for. So that meant fixing the trees to spawn stat 2 things and fixing good food to be stat 2. And then anything, let's see, if we go into the generator item of stat, instead of, no, actually item of stat didn't have anything in it. It was one of the, we can stop by the way. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I broke it. Maybe? This is going to be one of those long stops, or are we going to actually crash? Okay, it's back.
He had to think for a second.
He was
processing. He was mulling it over.
I'm going to maybe crash on you.
It likes to do that at least once every other.
Okay, so behavior tree, stam check. The service here, we end up getting the stat array because we're reading in the stat array at the beginning for the character. And this simplified down a lot because we weren't like pulling in this index and doing all this craziness right here. We're just like, nope, here's the stat block. Now we have all the information for our math. Let's just go ahead and get that done. So in this one case, there was actually a huge saving on the number of nodes through there. It's much, as far as I'm concerned, it's much more easy to read. So that's kind of it. I added more comments in various locations so that we'll be able to better remember where we're at when we come back through everything.
I have a couple of Q&A questions.
Okay, more Q&A.
Okay, the first one I'm going to go ahead and answer because I know what it's from and where it's leading to. It's are there any plans for showing how you guys set up more complex AI over the network with layered animation setup? This is actually was further explained as a question about how in Paragon they're doing AI networking animation all wrapped up into one. I'm currently talking to people about doing a AI Paragon stream in the future, but I have to combination of things. I have to lock down Mieszko, who is very, very busy with
He's very busy right now.
his stuff, and also we have to make sure that we're not going to accidentally do anything over the NDA and make sure that things are announced beforehand, and so it will be a little bit further down the line, but it is something that I'm fighting for.
Mieszko will probably be on our stream
Yes.
before that happens.
And then we'll talk about things that aren't in the Paragon realm, but it will be more in-depth AI stuff.
And
We'll also let
so
them
the
ridicule
high
what we
level,
built.
but the high level of what you're asking is the AI behavior. The controllers will probably run server side, and then the animation is run client side. So the information of what it wants to do and how it wants to do it. Paragon's a little bit different because than what we're doing, because we're having like the behavior tree actually control what we're doing and firing animations online. I'm assuming that their stuff is more like, no, the characters are doing stuff. We're just remapping inputs down the line. So if I hit, my ability key and I use it, this is what happens. So in comparison to what we're doing is we're saying the AI is actually defining our animation path, which one's right, which one's wrong depends on your game, right? We didn't have a character in place that we were moving and jumping and doing stuff with, so this made more sense at the time.
Yeah, that would require.
And it'll probably make not much sense tomorrow when I'm thinking about this further, and I'm like, oh, why did I do it this way?
That's what happens.
But that's game design, right?
It's like being an artist and you look at your own paintings and you're just like, oh, why did I think this was good enough?
Yep.
Yep.
Is there a key value variable you can use instead of 0, 1, 2, 3?
For the struct.
For the struct,
I mean, isn't that kind of what we had with the text names?
kind of. So when referencing it as an array, you're going to reference it as an index. However, that said, if we lock down our stat name, if we lock down our stats right now, we could just enumerate it. Right? Like you can. Let's go. Where's a good? We'll go down in here in the game, and blueprints enumeration. Yeah.
And this will
And
just
we
be
could
your
call it
enumerator of names.
stat, and we call it e-stats. And from here, we just new. Yeah, there's only 7. And we would name these, right? Like health. And, oh, I have to actually click stamina and hunger. So I'm only going to do those 3 for the moment, just so we don't have to type everything in. And then we could go into, where's our character? Character. And instead of saying get 1 down here or get 0, we could do a new stat enum. We call it is an e-stat. And we get that.
Oh, and then you do like a on whatever.
Yeah, and then we
it's
could.
like a switch on enum.
Yeah, and that could be, well, this isn't actually the right way to do this. Because you want the thing here. So it's, oh no, wait, I think if I do this, hold on. So if you do a get, yes it is, you convert it to a byte. Convert to int. It's right there. And if we, no, see, that's lame. There's a way to do it where it actually displays this in a more useful fashion. Because you can see over here, I have stat, health, stamina, hunger right there. And we could fill that in, but there's a way to show this, like plugging into here. Get number of that's not useful, right? Like, I've seen them. We have them. The answer is yes, but it's not like there's not like a what do you call it in C# or C++? It's a map, or it's like name to value. That's not a thing.
They're like associated.
Yeah, that's not that's not a thing.
No, it's mostly how you do it.
So, because like a map, you could do a search for, stamina and a return 2, or pardon 1. Or you could get 1 out of the table and it would return stamina, vice versa, that kind of deal. But that's not a thing that exists in Blueprints, unfortunately. Also, on the forum side...
zoom in a bit. It's hard to read.
Yeah, no, I'll zoom in. There was... Whoa, that's too much. There was somebody asking... I remember glancing over... one, dynamic nav mesh. Yes.
That's the instantiator, right?
Yeah, the instantiator. We will totally go over that.
For the open world stuff.
Yeah.
So
the plan is that we need to get... So we have our dudes. I did make one additional change to, quote, good food item, which is something we haven't used yet, our good food class, which is I separated out post-use from the actual, like, what happens at the end of using the item. Currently, it explodes, right? Well, we want to add in stationary things that you use to get something out of. Probably more for intelligence and things like that. We need to make those choices, but this post-use event can be overridden onto a table item, whatever, so that they can walk up to the table and get smarter. So in this case, we want to be able to have a larger world, and I was going to basically just create really sort of funky terrain. We're going to place some stuff on it. The guy would have to wander around much further, and then the nav mesh instantiator makes a lot of sense to go over at that point. That won't be next time on this stream, which is actually March 1st, I believe.
When we have Mieszko.
When we have Mieszko on. It'll be the one after that, which I think it'll be the first week in April, I guess. Unless something else happens, if one of the other streams drops off, mostly it'll be me and Alexander back on. So yes, we totally want to go over the dynamic nav mesh generator, and we will totally hop into that. And in fact, if I had more time, I'd get into it right now, because it's really not that difficult.
It's a little bit of setup because we have to go in and basically add a component to the AI that are going to be doing that, and then we also have to tell the project itself we're going to be using this technique, essentially, and then it goes, I will be looking out for these and generate based around that instead of your standard methods.
Yeah, and that was NTYCar, and I'll make sure, if you're not on right now, I'll make sure to hop in here and answer you directly.
I don't think he's in.
And also there's ArtBoom91. Interested in guide to choose food, what attached to east based on ice. Yeah, so basically, if a guy were to eat an apple over and over and over and over again, each time he eats an apple, it would make him more and more unhappy. Since we have a happiness stat.
Oh, yeah. So he gets kind of tired of eating the same thing, you mean?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
The answer is, it's a little more complicated than just yes, but yes.
Yeah, so the question of how do you, implement all do I eventually get tired of this? Do I keep eating this? Do I like this more versus do I like that more?
So the happiness thing is actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's just like, I have an array of the things that I've eaten, right? And every time I go through, I count how many apples I've eaten. I've eaten 3 apples. Okay, I really don't like apples now, so if I eat this apple, it's going to lower my happiness by 40 instead of 20 or something, right? Like, you do a little math and you start lowering your happiness, and a negative happiness is not a desirable thing, so he's going to look for something that gives him more happiness. That's where we have to get into the EQS, and you have to kind of modify, you have to have a custom test for us, in our case, where it'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. These things make me unhappy. This thing will make me more happy. Hey, I haven't had an orange in forever, right? So the orange will make me really happy.
A little variety.
So absolutely yes. It's just a little bit more complicated. We have to start factoring in.
It's basically adding in more numbers. It's like, do you want to inject more numbers? Sure, we'll inject more more variation.
We'll do it,
and that's what it is.
I'm hoping. So my hope is that we get Mieszko on and we go over doing this in C++, so we can get in there and create our own test, and we can get in there and create a much more complicated EQS generator and figure out the things that we want.
Yeah, and have it look up multiple stats and then do
Yep.
weighting based off of these multiple stats.
And I believe we kind of answered NTY cars, or I don't even know how, NT car? Maybe. Other question about how we were using structs to store this, and we're using the table. So the table ends up being like the master of stats, and then our struct from that ends up being what we're actually using on the fly. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Ian's on Twitter. Hooray!
Yes, make sure to bother him at Shadden.
Don't.
Also follow me if you're not following me. I'm just saying. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
And I said we were gonna add more dudes, unless we have. You can scan and see if we have any other awesome.
I'm watching chat now. Ever since they corrected us, I've been trying to keep an eye on it. The only request here is Ariel app would like to see the default section of that blueprint we were showing.
Which blueprint?
Oh, the character or the controller, I think. It was the one that we were looking at the array in. But that was not so much a question as a request to see something to understand.
Okay, it's probably not the controller.
Character.
Probably the character?
Yeah, he was just interested in your defaults.
Okay, was there a...
Show the default section in the BP for a sec. Nope, that was it. I don't know, scroll down.
Oh, this is the default section.
Oh, that is the defaults? Alright, well there you go.
I mean, is there something lower you'd like to see?
No, it was kind of vague, but that was the last question that we got.
Okay.
He was curious about a lot of the setup we were using.
Oh yeah, I haven't cleaned up because I'm not entirely sure if they're not used anywhere. I'd much rather not have it crash.
So that's why we have the
But
extra...
I haven't, yeah, you still have the stat min, stat max arrays, and stat desirability. As far as I know, these aren't used anywhere else, but if I delete them and it crashes, I didn't want to do that right
He
before
wants to see
stream.
the default parameters. So...
For
I don't know.
default parameters, for which?
For the array? I don't know.
Oh, for like the stat array, like this one?
I don't know.
Because the AI stat array is blank to start.
No, I think we... Oh, no. We said whatever it was he was interested in looking at,
Okay.
I think.
Mainly because this gets fed in from current stat values, because we don't care about... Min-max is defined by the table, and desirability is defined by the table to start. And then we move on from there. Honestly, desirability would be one of those that we would also influence, because that would be based on the per AI kind of deal, right? So yeah, unfortunately, no. Our guys, I saw something in there about fighting over food. Our guys will not fight over food, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, if you put up a bunch of them together and only one food source, they'll just kind of run around it, and the first one there wins. But they don't fight.
We should have them leave corpses and they can eat each other.
That went dark really fast. Is that like it? What kind of desirability stat does that have? And how does it affect happiness? Like if we give him different personalities,
depends.
one's a cannibal already, and so he doesn't like the apples, but he likes to eat his friends' corpses. Oh my gosh.
This just got really dark.
This is, wow, the layers of darkness on this. This is like that Darkest Dungeons thing really quick. Okay, cool. That was the last of the questions that I
they're falling over eating apples. Okay.
They have the dropsies.
Okay, so what's going on Thursday?
Oh, on Thursday? I can't really say anything yet.
Oh, okay.
There is an announcement up, and it's pretty much... There's a VR thing happening, and everyone should attend, and tell your friends to attend, and it's a thing.
Okay. Next Tuesday, for the training stream, will be Sam and Wes again. It should be more VR stuff. They haven't nailed down and told me exactly what they're working on. And for the next AI stream, March 1st, Mieszko should be on. We've talked to him like a million times, and it seems like it's okay. And we'll actually be talking C++ for behavior trees, EQS, and so forth, showing us how hopefully easy it is for us just to get in there and make this stuff happen. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thanks,
you, everyone.
Have fun. See you next time.